guys had a really good story about him pooping on himself, and then everybody gets hold of, oh, he did the racist thing. He's already racist. That's not a surprise.
Intentionally,
there's no surprise.
Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior. This guy is...
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has to be exhausted.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me just...
Now, one of the first lawmakers to make a public statement about the video was U.S. Senator Tim Scott, a Trump ally and the only black Republican in the U.S. Senate. He said, quote, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The
video posted by the so-called president was done intentionally. Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior. This guy is an unhinged bottom feeder.
So now this is just getting a little bit too sad. So let me get this straight. Trump stated that he did not post a video about the Obamas as apes. So that means he'll probably be firing somebody if it is true that he gave the video to somebody to review and they posted the video without reviewing it. Even if that was the case, why was that at the end of the video? I believe Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has to be exhausted because her continuously keep coming on trying to cover up what he is doing. As soon as she gets a breath of fresh air, there's something else. She never gets a break. I bet she probably doesn't even sleep. But this is the thing about her. She's going to have a extremely good career after him because her experience of what she has been doing for him, I can guarantee she'll have people calling her to work for them because she is doing a really good job, with the exception of you can now see her exhaustion now. Her energy is just drained. I don't even think she believes him anymore, but she has to act like she does. It's allegations that Donald Trump made that video. So does he not believe the videos that was made about him as a donkey? He may want to read up what a donkey is because it pretty much defines him. And a donkey can't seem to function without others. And that pretty much defines him. A donkey is lazy, even though they do have to perform. They are really not smart animals. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. They have brains, but to use it doesn't work very well. And they fit into the category of, like I stated, if they don't have others around them, they're not winners. They can't win on their own. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and everybody around him, he has climbed the ladder by stepping on other people. So is he a winner or is he a loser? Did everybody get him where he is? Evidently, that's why he is president right now. And all the people that he voted for, if you're still on his side, well, I'm so sorry. I feel for you because you have been deceived. If you still believe that he is a good president, if you are still admiring a man and woman who does not show love towards one another or their children or others, if you're still admiring a person whose only goal is harming and taking from others opposed to giving back or setting up production, long-term production, if you're still admiring a person whose only goal is harming and taking from others opposed to giving back or setting up productive long-term projects, resources, and structures, if you are admiring a person who is the full definition of narcissist, if you are admiring a man who kills, steals, lies, and destroys in order to cover up his negative actions, you better not step forward and call yourself someone who is a role model or positive, because the person you chose to admire is corrupt. You must be also, if you admire them. The history he is about to create, you might want to look around, because if he's creating that history for his house, his people, what are you creating the history for in your home? And if you a place for everyone, he won't go down in history for someone who took our country to a better place, to build productive history and structures and everything. He's not going to go down in history with that. So I really would not want to be the one to tell my kids and my children's children, this is the person that I admired. What does that make you look like? And it's so sad that so many people still admire that. It really makes me think, what kind of people are they? If he's that person, what type of a person are they who admire him? In reality, you know what I think this is all about? I feel that this Trump racist situation just comes days after. So I think it's just a deter away from him pooping on himself. Because when you really think about it, this would be a good cover up for that. Because he doesn't care about swerving in life and getting swerving into a lake or a pond or a body of water, because he can swim out of that. So that's what this is as a racist thing. He can swim his way out of this little comment. But to swerve and crash into things, like he would have to face the world and say, oh, I pooped on myself. That's not something he could talk his way out of. And if he does, it would take a lot longer. So he could easily, and everybody already thinks he's racist, so that's no big deal to him. So isn't this quite funny that this came after that and everybody's catching the story and looking towards it like, oh my gosh, look what he's such a prejudiced person. In reality, Barack and Michelle Obama, they could care less because they know who they are. So any little thing said about them, that's just brushed off. I mean, that doesn't even hurt me. I'm a black woman and that doesn't do nothing to me. You know why? Because I already know who he is. I already know who Trump is. Number one, and I already know who people who admire him are. So why would that hurt me? If I didn't know myself and somebody called me a monkey or an ape or put a face of a monkey or ape in front of me, that's their issue. That's not mine, because I know who I am. You think that I look like a monkey or ape? You might want to look in the mirror and look at who you look like. Because if you're looking at me, you must look like something not good, whether it's inside of you or outside of you, honey. So it cannot hurt me. I'm not the one pooping on myself. And usually people that admire them, believe it or not, they're pooping on themselves too. Maybe not physically, but guarantee you they're pooping on themselves. People that are prejudiced have issues because they can't deal with who they are. They have issues. They can't deal with somebody different than what they are. They have issues. In reality, they don't understand it. It's a long line of prejudice down in their house. And that's just the tour that they decide to go down also. I'm going to let you hear what Obama says about it. He doesn't care. I mean, really, what is it? You guys just took the eye off of the real issue that he just dealt with. You guys had a really good story about him pooping on himself, and then everybody gets hold of, oh, he did the racist thing. He's already racist. That's not a surprise. There's no surprise there. He pooped on himself. He pooped on himself. Racist? Pooped. Really? I'd rather run with the poop story.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me just, I just want to be clear about this. Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. You're laughing, but no, this is what's happening. Imagine if I had said to law firms that were. Imagine if I had said to law firms that were representing parties that were upset with policies my administration had initiated, that you will not be allowed into government buildings. We will punish you economically for dissenting or dissenting from the Affordable Care Act or the Iran deal. We will ferret out students who protest against my policies. It's unimaginable that the same parties that are silent now would have tolerated behavior like that from me or a whole bunch of my predecessors. So, and I say this not on a partisan basis. This has to do with something more precious, which is who are we as a country and what values do we stand for?
Up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
Okay, by him. So the fact that you hear this without a microphone being close, right? So 3 seconds in, right? And look at the woman in green behind Trump.
Faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's good. Now I hear fantastic things. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Oz. It's good.
I think after Trump shook his hand, he slightly wiped his hands off on his pants.
Thank you, please. Thank you.
Mr. President, can you respond to the new Fox poll that says...
Look at her touching her nose. You see her holding her nose? Look.
Mr. President, can you respond to the new Fox poll that says people think ISIS and tactics are too aggressive? Thank you, guys. Cameras, we're going. Thank you, guys.
Trump's ex-co-worker on The Apprentice speaks out. Let's see what he has to say.
Witnessed him soiling himself in a rage, sitting there on the Apprentice set, Celebrity Apprentice set, because he can't read. Same thing, he flew into a rage over the word arbitrage one time, okay? Yeah. Soils himself, has to go off set, gets cleaned up by Keith Schiller. Keith's nickname was Wet Wet. And the Feinstein, and Dianne Feinstein, and they're sitting there in the Oval Office, and he clearly, has some kind of bowel movement. But you can, and you see them look like they hear it, but you can look up videos, your viewers can look it up, and you'll find photos of him with the outline of Depends. And I'll tell you why he wears that, because speed addiction makes you incontinent, right? Opiates make you the opposite, make you constipated. Speed makes you go, right? So he eats fast food all day and meatloaf, like that's all he ever eats. Sorry for the graphics, and then he...
So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence. It can be ended. So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence. It can be ended. So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to